Hi guys, and welcome back to the FPL Duo. We're back for another stream, and this is the transfer tips video for game week 12. Midweek fixtures, so quick turnaround. So that's why we're probably a lot earlier than usual when we do these transfer tips video, because we usually do it on a Tuesday. But because of the deadline stream tomorrow, we're going to do a double stream today. So for anyone that doesn't know, we are streaming again at 8 p.m. today. So after this one, back-to-back stream. So do check us out for that one. But yeah, before we do start, how you doing, Jordan? Everything good?
Yeah, everything's good, thank you. Hope everyone else is having a great start of their week and a very exciting, condensed football schedule ahead. So yeah,
Yeah,
looking
very,
good.
very busy, obviously, with the turnaround, but more football, better for us, I guess, just because it's what we love. But yeah, let's move on to the players very quickly. The buy, sell, hold, and ignore. So let's bring up the first buy on our list for Game Week 12. So yeah, guys, the first one we recommend, the first player we recommend you buy, and that is Leandro Trossard. Now, Trossard has actually had a very good season so far. In the 9 appearances, he has scored 5 goals and chipped in with 2 assists, which is quite favorable. He's also got pretty decent underlying numbers, 0.33 expected goals per 90. But I think with Madison missing for Game Week 12 because of his suspension due to the yellow card, a lot of people are now looking to get rid of Madison, which, people will say Trossard is probably the best player you could pick in terms of fixtures. Nottingham Forest at home, he doesn't really get much better than that. Nottingham Forest are probably the worst team in the league, and it is someone that we've said probably want to target that fixture. And Trossard looks very good for that fixture because the way Brighton are playing, they look like they're still scoring goals, and I can definitely see Trossard getting something potentially. Ownership's only 16.9%. He looks like an easy switch from Madison, doesn't he, Jordan? If you are on Madison, you're looking to get rid.
Yeah, I think it's the most easiest transfer you could possibly make for game week 12. As the standout fixture for Nottingham Forest is the best fixture you could possibly get this week. I mean, Nottingham Forest are struggling. They're bottom of the table. They're in a bit of a issues, and Brighton, on the other hand, having a great season, even though their manager, Graham Potter, has moved on. The new manager has not been too bad. Draw into Liverpool. Maybe they've lost, not won a game with the manager yet, but in the attacking sense for Brighton, it's still there. It's still great. And Trossard is the main goal scorer for Brighton at the moment, with 5 goals behind him and 2 assists. He's had a great start of the season so far. And with the Nottingham Forest fixture at home, it seems like a massive eye opener to obviously bring Trossard in for if you have a Madison in your team, for example. It's just an easy switch, I would say.
Mm.
But unfortunately, he's not a long term hold. I wouldn't really hold him after um, game week 12 because he has Man City and Chelsea. So he is like a 1 week punt just for this week. And because of obviously Madison getting that suspension in that game in the last few seconds. So yeah, definitely Trossard, I'd say easy player to go for game week 12 just for the fixture, and his price as well is cheap, 6.9 million. He just had a rise in price, so if you did miss that out, I do think he's going to rise again soon before obviously the deadline for this week. So yeah, if you want to buy Trossard and wait for the final moments of the deadline to bring him in, then yeah, I would highly recommend him.
Yep. Fair enough. Yeah, Trossard does look like the best like replacement for Madison. So yeah, guys, he's the first buy. And do let us know what you think. Are you bringing Trossard in? If you do have Madison, if not Trossard, who are you going for? Let us know in the comments or in the chat. And if you have just joined, please do drop a like, guys, and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. So Trossard out the way. Let's move on to the second player that we recommend you buy, and that is Kieran Trippier. Now, Trippier, a lot of people probably wondering why have we put Trippier in the sense that he's very highly owned anyway at 56%. which is staggering, the amount of people that actually own Trippier, and I'm not one of them. But you will come on to see what I do later on the team selection video at 8 p.m. today. But the reason why Trippier is on this list is because you look at Newcastle's fixtures again. If you don't own Trippier, there are some people that don't. You could look to bring him in because he's got 10 appearances, 3 goals, 2 assists. His expected assists per 90 numbers are also looking a lot better compared to last season at 0.20. And the other thing with Trippier, he's also very, very good for bonus points. He does rack bonus points up, even when they concede. So he is good in that sense. Fixtures look brilliant in the short term and even to the World Cup. Okay, Tottenham's quite tough in Gameweek 13, but Everton, you can definitely see Trippier getting a clean sheet in that game. So the people that have double Newcastle defense with Pope, Trippier, or even Fabian Schär, Botman, this doesn't necessarily mean you have to get Trippier. Like, if you have Trippier already, this could mean getting in a second Newcastle defender, like a Botman, who's at 4.3 as well. So, yeah, I think Newcastle defense could be good from now until 15, 16, because like they've got 3 nice fixtures in Everton, Villa, and Southampton, and you could definitely see Trippier getting attacking returns in that game. What's your thoughts, Jordan, on potentially having a double Newcastle? A lot of people do have Pope and Trippier. Obviously, we don't, because we did. I think you don't either, do you? But
No.
what do you make of that double Newcastle defense if you did have that for the next 5 games?
I mean, it's not a bad idea with the fixtures Newcastle have and the way they've played. I do see a couple of clean sheets in the next 5 for Newcastle. Definitely see one in Everton, Aston Villa in game week 14, game week 15 Southampton away. The game week 13 and 16 maybe not for Newcastle, but you never know because they did get a clean sheet against Man United, which was considered a difficult fixture. So there may be surprises there with that one. But yeah, with double Newcastle defence, that's I'll say quite attractive. I mean, we do say double Man City, but it looks like Newcastle might also be an option to go for, as Trippier has been very, very successful this season. I think he's only had 2 blanks so far. Even if Newcastle don't give a clean sheet, Trippier does clench it with an assist here and there and a goal or 2. So he is definitely a player you would want in your team if you haven't got him already, especially at the price at 5.7 million. He's very cheap and he's playing like a premium defender at the moment. I mean, he's outperforming Trent, Reece James, obviously, but yeah, he's definitely a player to bring your team if you don't have him ready for a defender, as there aren't many options, especially for premiums, to really bring any in that are in form.
Yeah, also the other thing I was going to add quickly is obviously yesterday Liverpool played Manchester City and we saw Trent come in with a little cameo for 10 minutes. Now that's actually very annoying because I sold Trent last game week instead of selling James, who James is out for long term, but I sold Trent because Klopp said Trent's going to be out for 2-3 weeks. So then I got rid. But if you've got Trippier, maybe you could consider Trent again. I know that might split opinion. But I think Trent Alexander-Arnold as a differential could be decent as well if you're already on Trippier. But because a lot of us are looking for James replacement still, because a lot of us still got James on the bench. So yeah, Trippier is one I think you should be looking to bring in if you're feeling a bit more risky, maybe puntier, because obviously Trent, he's back from injury. Maybe that's one to keep an eye on, guys. I think Trent Alexander-Arnold, I haven't forgot him. But yeah, those are the 2 buys off the list. So let's move on to some players that we recommend that you should sell from your team if you do own these players. And the first one on the list is obviously Reece James. There are people still holding him, 30%. That is dropping. But we're not going to talk too much on Reece James. He's injured until the World Cup. So he's going to miss all the game from now till 16. He's an easy sell. Unfortunate, obviously, he looks like he's probably going to miss the World Cup as well, which is unfortunate. And hopefully he does return back from injury very quickly. But yeah, James, he's an easy sell. And let's move on from that one. The next one, I'll let you take this one, Jordan, is James Maddison. Easy sell, obviously, with the suspension as well.
Yeah, the annoying suspension of him diving in the last seconds of the game, which led to him getting a yellow card and now suspended for game week 12 at Leeds at home, which looked like a great fixture for Maddison. Unfortunately, this has led to him being a sell because obviously a lot of us will have a starting 10 team and not a starting 11 just because of Maddison now not featuring in Game Week 12. So he's definitely a sell to bring in another player in your team so that you have a standing 10 in your squad that plays in Game Week 12 or 11. But yeah, he is an obvious sell, Maddison, just because of that suspension from getting 5 yellow cards. I'll say that's a pretty obvious one this week. His price is dropping, I expect, tonight. So if you don't want to lose money on Maddison and you want to bring someone in a little bit early, it's not recommended that you do, obviously. But if you do consider price drops and price rises, then you probably will have to do it by tonight before he drops to 8.2 million. His ownership is in a decline, 18.5, and as of when I did this graphic. And yeah, it's unfortunate because Maddison was pretty much a hold until obviously Game Week 14, where you could switch him out for maybe Saka or a Man City player. But yeah, it's just a shame that Maddison unfortunately picked up that yellow card.
Yep, I completely agree with you. I think he's definitely a sell. There's no point holding him even for that 13-14 fixture because in Game Week 13, Arsenal, like Jordan mentioned, Martinelli, Saka, you'll probably want them in 13 ahead of Maddison, and even players like Foden, who you'd want ahead of Maddison. So he's taking up a lot of the budget. So yep, sell him and move on, guys. Yeah, let's move on to players that you should hold on to. So these are players managers are getting rid of, but we think you should give them another chance. So the first player on the list is actually Mitrovic. Now, a lot of managers have actually got rid of Mitrovic. His ownership has dropped because obviously it did look like that he would miss out in the Game Week 11 fixture, but he actually did play and he did score a goal, which might have annoyed a lot of people that did just sell him, or even a lot of people benched him as well, which was unfortunate if you did. Look like he's back now and he's got great fixture run until 14, Game Week 14. So Villa, Leeds, and Everton look like very nice fixtures from Mitrovic. So if you are considering getting rid of him, I would highly, suggest otherwise. Yeah, I think you should definitely hold on to him. 8 appearances, 7 goals. Can't really complain. In that sense, been brilliant so far this season. His XG numbers are actually a lot higher than that. So I think there was an error with XG on that one, but I think his XG is 0.71. It's quite high. But all in all, at 6.7 million, you can't really go wrong with Mitrovic. Yeah, I know the injury was unfortunate, and the people that did sold may be a bit unlucky because Marco Silva was a bit, he wasn't very direct and clear in his comments. He didn't let too much information out, but well done to people that held on to Mitrovic and did get the points for the goal. What's your thoughts, Jordan? He's an easy hold, ain't he?
Yeah, Mitrovic now back in the squad, back playing. As expected, he did get that penalty, which led to him scoring a goal against Bournemouth. He's still on form despite having his foot injury, and speculation whether he was going to start in that game against Bournemouth. I do think it was a tactical decision by the manager saying that he might be a doubt for that game, but who knows what the reason was for that. But nonetheless, he's got 7 goals behind him in 8 appearances still. He's the most, I'll say, informed striker apart from Haaland, of course, second most. So he is definitely a player you want to hold on to, especially with the fixtures from Game Week 12 to 14, where he has Aston Villa home, Leeds away, and then an Everton home fixture. And his price as well, 6.7 mil, cheap forward option to go for. I am surprised his ownership is only 21.5%. I would have thought it would be much higher for Mitrovic, the way his form has been so far. Scoring 7 goals in 8 appearances, I'm surprised it's not been more of an attractive option. But
yeah,
it is a kind of a good thing for us who have Mitrovic, because the lower his ownership is, the better your rank climbs for him. So, yeah, definitely a hold for Mitrovic for a long-term run.
Yeah, definitely at least till 15, when you could probably get rid of him potentially against Man City. But yeah, Mitrovic is the second player we recommend you hold on to. Is it? No, it's the first player actually. Sorry, my bad. So Mitrovic is a hold. let's talk about the second player on the list. That is also another hold if you do own him, and that is Martinelli. Now, this one obviously might be obvious to hold on to someone like Martinelli. He's had a few transfers out as well because obviously he does blank in game week 12. But if you've held on to Martinelli for this long, like Jordan has, it doesn't really make sense to sell him because you're going to get one in back for the brilliant game week 13 and game week 14 fixtures. So if you've got Martinelli, do not get rid of him. You've kept him for this long, keep him for 13, 14, and even 16, where he's got nice fixtures up until the World Cup. So Martinelli for us, is an easy hold if you do own him. Obviously, I don't own him, but if I did, at this moment in time, I'd hold him. So yeah, so he's been brilliant. Don't really need to talk too much on Martinelli. 10 appearances, 4 goals, 3 assists. Very good underlying numbers as well. Getting involved, one of Arsenal's main players. And yeah, he's an easy hold, isn't he, Jordan? Just because of the fixtures after the blank.
Yeah, definitely. He's a great hold after game week 12. You definitely want triple Arsenal, including him being one of them, Martinelli, just because of his price as well, 6.7 million. Starting off at 6.5. He has some money invested in him, which is also why he's definitely a hold as well, because if you bring him back in, he's obviously going to be more expensive for your team. So you want to hold on to the money you have invested in Martinelli just so you can spend it elsewhere if you need to. But also his fixtures after game week 12 is pretty good. And Arsenal at the moment look amazing, especially in that attacking. That forward line is dangerous for teams. And I don't know what the score will be against Nottingham Forest at home. That's going to be staggering at the rate Nottingham Forest are playing. But yeah, definitely Martinelli is an easy hold just because after that blank, you would want him in your team and it'd be silly to get rid of him and then buy him back in for game week 13.
Yep, I agree. Let's swiftly move on to the players that we recommend that you should probably ignore. And these are players that are being transferred in this week that we think you could wait a bit longer before bringing them in. And these are Phil Foden. Now, Phil Foden has had quite a lot of transfers in. He's in the top 5 transfers in, I believe, for game week 12, which obviously is a surprise, bearing in mind that he doesn't actually play in game week 12. A lot of people are still bringing him in. So yeah, the reason why you wouldn't bring Foden in is obvious. Wait till game week 13 when he actually does play. I wouldn't be bringing him in now. I just think there's no point bringing a player to bench this week. There's no need. You rather just wait and roll the transfer. Basically, if you do have 2 free transfers, just use one, roll the other one, and then you'll have 2 next week where you can bring Foden in when he's got a very nice fixture against Brighton. So yeah, Foden for us is ignored due to his game week 12 blank. I'm not going to discuss much more on that one. I think it's fairly obvious, but he looks like a very, very good pick from game week 13 onwards until the World Cup. And he's definitely one. He's on my watch list that is probably going to come in. And then finally, the last player on the list as an ignore is another player that does blank in game week 12. And I feel like we've had Saliba on our list for weeks. People just keep bringing him in. And it is another blank in game week 12 for Saliba. So same reason for Foden. You don't really want to bring an Arsenal defender in when he does another game in game week 12. You want to wait until game week 13, 14 and bring him in then. And even then, you might not want to go there because you might want other Arsenal players instead of him. So that is my thoughts on Saliba. Good player, but doesn't play in 12. And then I'd prioritize players like Martinelli, Saka, maybe Jesus. Obviously, he does have the issue with the yellow card, but yeah, those are the quick thoughts on Saliba. He's an ignore this week just because of the blank. So I'm going to quickly recap it. We'll get some of your questions in. That I think I've seen a few questions, and I'll answer them. And then yeah, let's wrap it up now. We're not going to have a video too long today, the stream, because we do have another one at 8 o'clock, and it is a team selection. So do join us, literally in half an hour's time, where we go live again to do the team selection video for game week 12. But without further ado, the 2 buys are Trossard and Trippier. You should sell James and Maddison. You should hold on to Mitrovic and Martinelli, and you should ignore Foden and Saliba. So those are the players. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Should we have included someone that we've not? Let us know your thoughts and what you think, and let us know your transfer plans as well. Quickly, before we go, I'm reading a few comments out. TH11, I am back. Free hit played this week. Elliot's in the chat. Hey, lads. Penguins in the chat. Hope you guys are well. Thank you
Yeah.
for joining. He says FPL Penguin also says 65 points this week. Sold Haaland, bought in and captain Kane. Fair play, well done. That's bold, but
that's an interesting one. Selling Haaland.
yeah, I mean it paid off. Obviously, Haaland getting his first blank of the season. But yeah, it was a nice win as well. I know Penguin's a Liverpool fan, so he must be buzzing as well because big win. Elliot says made drunk. I thought he meant dunk as in the Brighton player. But I think he means made a drunk transfers last night. Sold Kane for Tony and Sterling for Salah. I don't think that's that bad. I mean, I like Salah. Obviously, you can captain him for Game Week 12. And then obviously you needed the money. So I can understand why you went to Tony as well. Even though I think Kane's decent against Man United. But yeah, I don't hate the move. I think Salah, you get a captain for that week.
Yeah.
But yeah. We are not going to do this run the stream for too much longer, guys. We are back again at 8 p.m. today, literally streaming again in 40 minutes time. So do join us for the team selection. We'll probably do a little longer stream where we talk about our teams in depth. But this was just a quick transfer tips video, and hopefully you guys do join our stream literally in 40 minutes time. So yeah, don't want to keep this one for too long. Just want to say a thank you to everyone that has watched the stream. If you have enjoyed the content, do drop a like on the video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It's been a transfer tips video. Let us know in the comments, are you bringing in any of these players, or if you're looking to take any of these players out, do let us know what your plans are. And yeah, that's it from us today. Anything else you'd like to add before we do wrap up, Jordan?
Not really. Nah, that's pretty much it. We'll obviously be back in very soon. So yeah, that's all I have to say.
Okay, guys, thank you for watching. Do join us again 8 p.m. today, and thank you everyone. If you haven't already liked the video, do like, and see you at 8 p.m. Thank you guys, and take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah, take care, guys. See you at 8 p.m.